know your primary colors? Well, kind of. Quick, off the top of your head, say your primary colors out loud. I'll wait. Now, what I'm sure a lot of you said was red, yellow, blue. That's what we're taught in elementary school. That's what we know as our primary colors. But what if I told you that was wrong? Kind of. You see, primary colors are not absolute. They change depending on which color model you use. Now, this is a basic color model that's actually a little outdated. Primary colors are not absolute. Kind of. The general definition of a primary color is a tone that cannot be mixed. What we see as colors are just rays of light combining to create the pigments and hues that we observe every day. Now, those rays of light are made up of red, green, and blue. It's based on human perception of light that creates color. More practically, it's used in screens like TVs and computers, combining red, green, and blue pixels to create the colors that we see. But it's also used in lighting for things like movies and photographs. So scientifically speaking, all colors are made up of reds, greens, and blues, which, yes, make them the primary colors. Kind of. Primary colors are not absolute. You have to think of the color model that you're using. More importantly, you have to think of the application of the color. You see, there are other primary colors that are more practical for everyday use. And those primary colors are cyan, magenta, and yellow. What? Yep. Those are also primary colors. It's actually interesting. The secondary colors of red, green, and blue are the primary colors for cyan, magenta, and yellow. And the inverse is also true. Now, how can all of these be primary colors? Well, there are two main types of color models, that being additive color and subtractive color. Both red, yellow, blue, and cyan, magenta, yellow fall under subtractive colors, which would mean red, green, and blue is an additive color. Additive colors have to reflect in order to get the color that you need, whereas colors have to absorb in order to get the colors that you need. Absorption versus reflection is the key difference between additive and subtractive colors, which is why subtractive colors are the best for mixing paint, dyes, inks, printing, anything, because they're absorbing other colors to create the colors that you want. And that's what happens with practical matter. But because all of this absorption is happening, when you combine all of these colors together in equal parts, you get black. Now with additive colors, when you combine them all, you get white because you're reflecting light. Basically, additive colors and subtractive colors are the inverse of each other. To get additive colors, you need darkness or black. Then you add a light to get the colors. To get subtractive colors, you start with white. Then that white has to absorb other colors in order to get the colors. And in the middle, you land at black for subtractive colors and white for additive colors. So if I were only working with light, and this is for my cinematographers and photographers out there, red, green, and blue would be the three colors that we would mix together to get our secondary colors and beyond. But if I'm working with actual practical matter, it doesn't work the same way. Now, I'm sure you're asking where are purple and orange and all of the other colors that you know. They're in the transition between the primary and the secondary colors. All those colors in between are important, but they come from the primary and secondary colors. Now, if you add light and dark, you can change these colors completely and get all of the colors that you can possibly think of. But that's another video for another time. Make sure you follow.